Hey Kritika, lovely to meet you, and you're looking lovely. I love what you're wearing. I like those. I like the top is very interesting, and the painting.
Thank you. I'm pretending it's winter in Mumbai,
It
but
is
it's
winter it's
not.
starting.
It's not, but I'm just pretending. I'm getting ready for it.
Yeah, Dubai winters have started, so it's not bad. It's pretty
Oh,
nice.
yeah?
Yeah, yeah. We have 8 months of
Yeah,
summer.
this would be a lovely time in Dubai, actually.
Yes,
I've
it is.
been around this time and it's the best, I feel.
Yeah. So how often have you come to Dubai?
Pretty often before the lockdown, before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Since the pandemic, only once.
Yeah.
But actually, I might just be there next month for
Oh,
something. Yeah,
okay. What is that
yeah.
something?
That's something. It's a small shoot for Dubai tours.
Oh, wonderful. So we should meet up. We should catch up. It'll be nice.
Definitely,
And what are these
definitely.
paintings? Are you collect all of these and you paint them? What do you do?
So I recently redid my house
Okay.
um, because just we spent so much time at home the last couple
Yeah.
of years
Yeah.
that it just made sense to personalize the space and do everything that I
Understand.
ever wanted to do. So this is supposed to be, and I told my interior designer, I said I want the house of my 30s. So this
Mhm.
is the house of my 30s. And this room that I'm sitting in actually is my media room. So there's a TV in front of me. And because we do so many shoots at home now and all these, interactions at home, I've made a few corners that I feel comfortable in
Yeah.
that have interesting backdrop, I would hope.
Yeah.
Uh, so these
Are
are
you fond of
just
white?
it's just art I've curated.
Are you
I
fond of
mean,
white? Are you fond of whites generally?
I white is my favorite color actually.
I can see. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So congratulations, you're doing so. I mean, there's so much work that is happening on OTT, and you're being part of some very major web series. How does it feel? And is it a very busy schedule for you now? Are you very busy these days?
Uh, this actually these months are busy.
Hmm.
October, November, December are really busy because everything's just things stop for a bit in Bombay when it's raining, in
Yeah,
India in general,
yeah,
and then they just come back.
yeah.
And so it's busy shoot wise, but also it's an exciting time to be an actor. I think streaming has opened so many, avenues for us, and there's such interesting scripts and such great work happening
Yeah.
that there's much to choose from. And I think I'm fortunate that I've got the chance to kind of like pick different projects and different characters. I don't want to repeat myself. Also, it gets a bit boring for people who are watching, or and for us
Yeah,
performers. So I'm
yeah.
trying to slowly, steadily build a filmography that is interesting and that I'm proud of.
And the roles for women have been so well defined and so refreshing to see. So tell me about those roles.
Yes, absolutely. I think also there's so many women storytellers now.
Yeah,
So that makes a huge difference. Of course, there are great women stories being told by men as well, but you need the
yeah,
female gaze. You need to
yeah,
know things from
yeah.
the female perspective as
Hmm.
well.
Yeah.
And there is a difference. There's a difference in how they are shot and how they even, turn out. So that's
Yeah.
interesting. But otherwise, yeah, I think the era of the hero and the heroine are over. It's
Hmm.
about characters now. It's about interesting characters, whether they're male or female, or their gender, their orientation. Nothing matters anymore. It's become more inclusive. Stories have become more inclusive. They've
Hmm.
become more interesting. Characters. There's depth in writing, especially on streaming, because there's no pressure of the box office. It's
Yeah.
also, if I talk about series, because I've done most of my work has been web series.
Yeah.
So in series, I think it's the right kind of length. I've also done
Hmm.
television and I've done
Yeah.
a film, so I feel
Yeah.
like these 9-10 episode series are just great. It's the sweet spot. It's the right
Yeah.
amount of time for the
Exposure.
audience
Yeah.
to get
True.
into a really dig
Yeah.
into a story, and
Yeah.
for us as actors, even for the makers, to
Yeah.
really etch out these characters
Yeah.
and have different layers, different shades, which are so much fun to play.
Tell me about Hush Hush and the star cast and interacting with Juhi Chawla and the rest of the cast. Your experience and how was it? Because again, it's an
So
unusual
Hush Hush was
time.
a great experience. I mean, you can imagine like so many women on set,
Yeah.
not just in
Yeah.
front of the camera,
Yeah.
even behind.
Yeah.
So cast and crew predominantly women.
Yeah.
So a lot of like female energy and like great women who really, all of us really got along. Like Juhi Chawla is so much senior to me, and I've grown up watching her and dancing to her songs, and you have that image of her from the 90s, and then to see her in a part that's so different from who she is,
Yeah.
and then to be able to also, it was really strange because we were supposed to be friends, all of us. So like every time that you see us, or my character with her, and there is this beautiful scene from the past that keeps coming back. They keep cutting to a flashback where we're having this really deep, nice conversation about life. And it was like I was supposed to be like best pals with her. So it was a little strange, but only for a bit. Only when we were reading. When we started shooting, it was just great. The only, I would say, it took a bit longer because of the lockdowns. We shot in two schedules, quite apart from each other, but overall, just great experience. Can't wait to do season 2.
Okay. Also for your eyes only. Tell me about that.
I can't tell you about that. It's currently for my eyes only.
Okay. But what can we know a little bit about it? I mean, it's on Netflix. That's what we know.
I really can't.
Okay, you can't talk
I
about
really
it.
can't talk much about it. I can just say that I'm currently working on 2 projects that are very interesting, and there are 2 projects that are set for release. Not set. There's still going to be. I mean, it'll take some time. One of them is announced. It's called Bombay Meri Jaan. It's also on Amazon Prime. It's my 3rd show with them. It's a very interesting show. It's a massive magnum opus, kind of like big drama, with again, I would think, a very interesting cast and people who
character that you're
became
playing,
more
which
like
is
family.
even more interesting, which is out of the ordinary.
Yeah. If people have seen a little bit of the glimpse that was released, because that's the only thing I can talk about. So it's very interesting. It's actually these kind of characters don't come by. You don't get to play like these kind of like gray characters.
There's no meat in them, right?
Different.
There's so much fun, much more. I mean, to be
especially for me, because I'm like, I've done so many girl next door bubbly romantic parts that for me it's very it's very interesting to explore something like that,
the darker side.
The darker side, and it gets pretty dark, and that show is it's not going to be a very easy watch, but it's a super interesting one, and I'm very excited for that. Fully finished filming for it. There's a lot of VFX work because, like I said, it's a really big show, 10 episodes period. So all that is being done right now. Hopefully, should come out soon. That's what we're waiting for. And as far as the projects I'm working on currently, like shooting for currently, are concerned, they're also very different from this. Again, different periods, different genres, totally. I just played a baddie, and now I'm playing a really righteous person. The next thing I get into is somebody in a uniform. So it's all kinds of
all these characters.
shades.
Do they leave remnants of their qualities or something in you? That's usually what happens. And you retain some and you leave some.
I think it's I think it happens with all characters, and it's both ways, because you have to put some of you in it, and some of the character stays with you. And I think only when you need to have some commonality, although they're very different and their situations and backgrounds are very different from, say, my life, my upbringing, my milieu, but I think somewhere there are only so many universal human emotions, and there are things that you can always find, and you must. I think with a good characters in a well-written character, you have to always find something in common with that character, even if it's just empathy, or like to be able to believe in what you're doing, to be able to just act convincingly. So that really happens. I think there's a little bit of Kritika in all the characters that I play, and I think they are at some level relatable in some sense or the other, which is why I'm able to play them.
Right. You've also worked with Sohali Khan again.
Yeah.
So tell me about that experience, because that was her first comeback, when the Shikharvati was
Yes.
one of her comeback when
Yes.
she came back after a gap of motherhood, and then now
Yeah.
again. So tell me about that. Tell me about
So I
working.
met Soha at the MA office when we were prepping for Kaun Banegi Shikharvati. That's the first show we did together, and it just so happened that we were supposed to leave for the shoot, and the first lockdown was announced.
Yes.
And at that time there was so much ambiguity. You didn't know what was going on. You didn't know what the virus was. You knew nothing. But this shoot was supposed to be in Rajasthan, and if you remember, in India, the first few cases that were identified were like literally around this property that we were shooting in.
Okay.
So the shoot was called off. I want to say 10-12 hours before. Like, we were supposed to fly out tonight, and we were told this evening that it's not happening. And then we reunited once things opened up. So we had met, we had read, and we started shooting. And the nature of this shoot was such, I've done 2 shows with Soha, Shikharvati and then Hush Hush, and both the shows have been shot during the pandemic, different lockdowns. So the shoots have been really like tight, like a bio bubble, where you don't really interact with anybody outside. You're living together, shooting together, eating together. And so it gives you ample time to bond, and we really get along. I'm very fond of her, very fond of Kunal, Inaya. And although I've just known her for the last 2 years or so, we've become good friends, even outside of the set.
Okay. Also, tell me, you always wanted to be an actor. This is something that you always aspired to be, right from childhood?
No, I didn't. I didn't think about it growing up. It was too far-fetched. I come from a really small town, a middle-class family, small town in the interiors of Madhya Pradesh, central India, where this is not a career option. Like, this is not something, it's not an affordable dream, if I can put it that way. I was so far removed from Bombay and this industry, and I had no connection, no relatives, not even like a far relative or a friend, anybody who had done anything related to films. So for me, it wasn't. It was just something on celluloid. It was just something to watch and enjoy. I never thought I could be a part of it.
Okay, but then what happened? Why did it change?
It didn't change, actually. I was in college. I went to NIFT Delhi. I was doing my fashion course. I had just started, actually, just the first semester, just the first few months in college, fresh out of school. And I was bunking college on a Monday morning, and I was always interested in performing arts. So I used to hang out with like some theater actors, and had started doing like a little bit of stage and drama, dance, only on a very, very small scale, like only like school, college level. So I was hanging with them, and somebody came up and said that there's an audition going on, and they'd like me to test for this TV show that they were making. So I needed a reason to not go to college, and I went for this test. And me and a couple of friends, actually, we all went to this audition. We gave it, forgot about it. A month later, I got a call saying that I've been, selected, and they'd like me to come to Bombay to talk contract and like to do workshops, and can I move to Bombay? So it just got real suddenly.
Just pulled you into
and my parents were back in MP, so I called them and I said, this has happened. And they were very encouraging, very chill, very supportive from the beginning. My mom came with me the first time I came to Bombay, and we met them. Things went smoothly, and I shifted.
Here you are.
But I'd taken a break from college. I wanted to actually go back. I didn't think I'd last. I thought it's a fun project to do on the side. I'll do this and go back and pursue my studies. But that never happened. Work got me work, and touch wood, I chanced upon something that is my true calling, that I absolutely love. I don't think I can do anything else. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know why it didn't occur to me before. And I wish I knew, because then I would have also like trained.
But that's a surprise, right? That is a surprise element of life that you never know.
Yeah.
Also, what is your kind of cinema, and what is the web series that you watch usually? Now, since you're part of the game, you're part of this whole network. Do you have the time, first of all? And when you do, what do you do? What do
Oh,
you?
I do. I binge a lot of shows and films. There's no particular kind, and that's the beauty about content today. There is no one thing.
Yeah.
There is so much great stuff out there.
Yeah.
In fact, there isn't enough time to watch everything. There's just
Yeah.
so much out there.
Yeah.
But I like. I think art is political, and I think that I like stories that say something in addition to being entertaining.
That's why
I like
Tanda,
stuff that.
something like Tanda.
Sorry.
Tanda.
Yeah, I think Tandav also was trying to do that. I've recently got the opportunity to be a part of a film that's a very important film that makes you ponder, makes you question the divides in our society. And
Yeah.
not every project can be like that, because as an
Yeah.
actor, you can only choose. And I try to choose wisely. I've
Yeah.
been very picky. Even when I did television, it was hard to find,
Yeah.
projects that spoke to me, but I waited for them. And even now, not every project can be like that. I understand that, because I'm not a creator. I'm not making them, writing them,
Yeah.
directing them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I want to, that's the dream, and that's what I enjoy watching also, when something really makes you think about life, when it's a reflection of life, society in some way. I think those kind of stories are my favorite, because they stay with you longer and they somewhere change you. It's almost like reading a good book.
Yeah. You're working with Pratik Gandhi soon?
I don't know what to say. Yes, I'm working with him currently.
Currently. So tell me
Can't
about.
tell you for what.
Yeah, that I'm not asking. I'm just I just want to know, how is it working with him? Because he's another
I've
phenomenon.
worked with him once before. We've done a film together. A few years back, before this whole OTT boom really happened. So I know him, and he's a wonderful guy. He's of course a great actor. Everybody knows that. Everybody's seen that, and it's a lot of fun reuniting with him and working on something so fresh and new. And yeah, it's wonderful to also see that he's still the same. He's humble. He's curious. He's very hardworking. Oh my God, he's so hardworking. He's doing so much and managing it so beautifully. I'm completely in awe of his discipline.
Lovely. So lovely chatting up with you. And when you come to Dubai, we'll catch up soon. And
Yes,
thank
we
you very
must.
much for speaking to me, and good luck. We'll be watching all your
Thank you.
shows, the ones that you mentioned and the ones you didn't mention. All of them.
Okay, fine. Yes.
Thank you.
Let me know what you think about them. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.